Today I'm behind it with a brand new 2021 Volvo XC90, and this may be the best luxury midsize SUV you could buy today. Now for 2021, there are a few changes. Volvo added more standard features and more standard safety features. So the XC90 gets even better. If you're interested, keep watching. Let me show you what this XC90 is all about. Before I get started, I want to give a big thanks to Volvo Cars and Lyle, which made this video possible. So if you're in the market for a brand new or used Volvo, make sure you check them out. Their URL is in the description of this video. First, let's start out with the outside. The XC90 is a mesmerizing and beautiful and elegant and stylish SUV. It has all the right proportions, and Volvo just did a really good job. So let's start with the front. Of course, you see that big Volvo grille in the middle, big emblem, and you see a chrome surround, and even inside, it kind of has like a 3D look, and I really like that look. Now, moving to the headlights, they're very sleek looking. I love the Thor's Hammer daytime running lights, very distinctive. And for 2021, the headlights get updated. Now, they are active bending, which means the headlights do turn when you turn your steering wheel. And automatic high beam is now standard as well. And if you move to the bottom, LED fog lights are also standard. So the XC90 gets a little bit better, a little bit safer. Now moving to the side, the profile of the XC90 is what you expect with the 3-row midsize SUV. And of course, because this is a luxury SUV, you can see every body panel, everything is painted. There is no black cladding anywhere. Volvo is not trying to make the XC90 look rugged in any way. And you can see chrome window surrounds. Also on top, aluminum roof rail. Looks really nice. And standard on the Momentum, you do get 19-inch wheels. They have been redesigned for 2021. But this one has optional 21-inch wheels, which to me on this XC90 looks absolutely perfect. I'll let you guys know how they feel on the road, but in terms of looks, it doesn't get any better than this. Moving to the back, on top you have a shark fin antenna, a spoiler, a very large privacy glass. On either side you do see this distinctive taillight design from Volvo's. You can't mistake a Volvo for any other car on the road. And you see Volvo badging, and of course on the bottom you do have a silver strip and dual chrome exhaust tips. They're subtle, but it's there. Overall, it is a good look. In the back, you do have a power liftgate and hands-free feature. You got a good amount of room behind the third row. There's really no nets or cubby holes or storage places. On the right side, you do have a 12V outlet, but that's pretty much it. Underneath the bottom, the spare tire and tools. Of course, you want more cargo room. It's very easy to fold down the third row seats. However, it's only easy to fold down, not up. There's no strap on the back, there's no switches, nothing like that. So if you want to raise them again, you have to go into the second row and raise them from the inside. You can't lift them up any way from the rear. And I've always wondered why Volvo simply just doesn't attach a strap to the back of the third row to make it easier. Now, what's great is when the seats do fold down, the third row and the second row, you could see the seats fold down very flat indeed. So it maximizes cargo room. You don't have to worry about the second row or third row being a little bit higher than the rows before. Everything is completely flat. Now this one I'm reviewing is the 7-passenger, not the 6-passenger. So in the second row, you do see there are 3 seats. Now to get in the third row, you simply pull on the lever and the seat folds forward. It's not as smooth as the others that I've tested, so that could be a little bit better, but the opening to get in the third row isn't bad. Now in the back with the second row all the way back, I have no leg room. I have to spread out my legs to make room. For kids, it's perfectly acceptable. As adults, you only want to use the third row for emergencies. Unfortunately, in the back, there's no USB ports. There's a couple of cup holders on each side and a couple of vents. That's pretty much it. Now moving to the second row, good amount of space. I'm 5'10" and at least 3 to 4 inches of leg room, and same thing with headroom. And the seats feel very nice. Of course, everything in this XC90 is covered in leather. The seats are leather, and they have a good design too. As for amenities for the second row, you do have a pair of vents, a very fancy looking climate control, also heated seats, and below you have 2 USB ports. Now moving up front, this is probably the best part of the XC90. This cabin is stylish, it's modern, and it's very minimalistic, and it works. I'm a big fan, and it's not just in the XC90, also the XC60, XC40, and every car that Volvo has. Now starting with the steering wheel, it has a good thickness, the leather feels good, but overall design isn't the most modern or stylish, but it works. On the right side, you have buttons to control your media, your scrolling, voice control, and also menus in your gauge cluster. Now on the left side, you have buttons for your adaptive cruise control and pilot assist and some of the safety features. Now moving to the digital gauge cluster, I'm a big fan. 12.3 inches, everything is digital, speedometer, tachometer, your gauges, everything is digital. Navigation maps appears in the middle when you're following directions, very convenient. You can bring up the menu for your trip computer, phone navigation, all that good stuff. To the left of the steering wheel, you have a button for the power lift gate. Also, you have 3 settings for memory seats. And for 2021, now you get power folding mirrors as a standard feature. Now moving to the infotainment screen, this is the best part of all Volvos in my opinion. This infotainment screen, the software and how it works is the best in the industry. Starting out, you have a home screen that shows your current position, your radio, and there's something called sound experience where you can optimize the sound inside the cabin for the front, the rear, for just the driver. Pretty cool. And scrolling to the right, you have some applications for your radio, your satellite radio, Bluetooth streaming, and also Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and you could download other apps on here as well. Now, scrolling to the left, this is where you control all your vehicle functions. For example, your active bending lights, you could turn that on or off, your lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, road sign information, everything you could think of, wireless charging. These are all features you could turn on or off. By the way, for 2021, wireless phone charger is now standard. Before, it was an optional feature, now it's standard. Also, blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, those are all now standard as well. Climate control, pretty simple. You have one on each side, dual zone up front, and you can control the rear. And then as you can see, the temperature selector, just move it with your finger up or down, and that's pretty much it. Now, if you wanted auto, click the middle, you can do auto climate, you can set your fan, and for rear climate, you can set second row climate control or third row. The base Momentum does come with heated seats up front, but the heated steering wheel that you see here is part of a climate package that's optional. That package also adds on heated wipers and heated rear seats. Now, if you wanted to access vehicle settings, it's on top, just like your phone. Just scroll down, hit settings, and you could see a whole bunch of things for sound, navigation, climate system. So if you go into reverse, of course, you could see the view behind you, but you do have a 360 view camera system in here. So if you want to see what's on the right side, left side, in front of you, you can. The only issue with this is you can't see both. In a lot of other cars, you see a view of what's behind you and also like a smaller view of what's around you. This one, you don't. It's just one view at a time. You also do see your parking lines that you could turn on or off and cross traffic alert. Now, I know the industry is moving to larger and larger and larger screens, but to me, this 9-inch works perfectly. And if you guys just spend a few seconds with it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Underneath, you have a few buttons and a knob for your volume, which is nice, but you have some defroster options. And also, if you want to open the glove box, there is a button for that. Now, moving to the shifter, what I like about XC90 and the XC60 is you get a normal shifter. And there's manual shifting as well. On this Momentum, there's no paddle shifters. Underneath the shifter, you have the start engine and stop engine. There's drive modes. So as you can see, there's Eco, Comfort, Dynamic, Off-Road. I'm gonna test out Comfort and Dynamic because there is a big difference. 2 cup holders and inside the armrest, you have 2 USB ports and just some storage space. Now, what's a little disappointing is the USB ports up front is hidden inside the armrest. It's not above. What I like up here is the wood. Normally, I'm not a big fan, and in a lot of cars you see fake wood everywhere. This is real wood. It actually feels like wood. It just covers the center console, your dash, your door panels. Everything in here looks good, and I like it because it adds a little bit of contrast. Besides everything being black, now you see black and aluminum and this wood color throughout. Really, really nice. Your rear view mirror has compass and also some home link buttons. And on top, you have a laminated panoramic sunroof. This is an optional feature, but I really, really recommend it. Laminated means it lets light through. So even though it's closed, it's somewhat bright in here. And when you open it, it becomes so airy in here. All right, I'm on the roads. Next, let me tell you how this XC90 is, how it feels, and how it drives. Let's start out with the basics, visibility and driving position. Well, I think both are very good, if not excellent. The step-in height isn't too high, but this is a mid-size SUV, so once you get into the seat, you'll realize you have a good commanding view of the road, and it's a nice view. Also, the hood slopes down quite dramatically, so you can see well past the hood, no problems with visibility. Also, the front windshield is very large, very large. Same thing on the side windows. The mirrors are also very big, so you really can't miss anything. And blind spot monitoring is now standard in here. They should have been standard long time ago, to be honest, but they are standard now finally. Blind spot is good, rear visibility is good. With the third row headrest up, they do block the rear visibility slightly, but overall it's still decent. And what helps with this driving position are these seats. They're very, very comfortable seats. Of course, they're covered in leather. They have a sporty design, but they're very comfortable. The bolstering is not too aggressive. I don't feel like I'm sliding around, and my back, my butt feels very comfortable. Now, I have reviewed the R-Design seats before, which I think are too aggressive, too sporty, but I guess it just really depends on what you're looking for. Now, I haven't talked about the engine yet. This one I'm driving is the T6. This is the one that most of you guys will get because it is a good engine and it comes with all-wheel drive. Now, the T6 engine is a 2-liter turbocharged and supercharged. Yes, turbo and supercharged. And this engine produces 316 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. And fuel economy isn't bad, 21 miles per gallon combined. Now, if you wanted just front-wheel drive, you can opt for the lower T5 engine, which is producing about 250 horsepower. It's okay, but you could definitely feel there's a big difference between the T5 and T6. And if you wanted some monstrous power, you can move up to the T8, which is hybrid. You get hybrid motors plus the turbocharging and the supercharging. And that XC90 produces over 400 horsepower. But I think the T6 is the one that you guys should look at. It's the right amount of power and the throttle feels really nice. As for cabin noise, it's very good in here with one small exception. Wind noise, cars passing by, even engine noise, exhaust, very, very, very quieted or muted, I should say. I don't really hear anything. The one small exception is from the road. I can hear the road quite a bit. I think it's because of these very aggressive tires on the very large 21-inch wheels, which are optional. Now, as for the suspension, very beautiful. Even though this is equipped with 21-inch wheels with very small sidewall, the bumps are being soaked up just fine. I don't really feel anything, and I feel like this XC90 is handling the curves and bends really well, very minimal body roll. Overall, it's a very comfortable drive. Now, I did hit some few big potholes, and yes, you will feel those, but for the most part, the suspension in here is really good, really good. Okay, so I just changed the drive mode to dynamic because I have tested XC90s before, and when you go into dynamic, there is a big difference, especially when it comes to acceleration. So next, let me test out 0 to 60 or 10 to 60 and see how it is. The acceleration is quite good. 316 horsepower really moves this XC90.
I mean, with turbocharging and supercharging, I don't know how that works. I don't know how Volvo figured it out, but you get plenty of low-end torque and high-end horsepower, kind of a combination of both. And this XC90 moves. It really does. Not the quickest SUV, but definitely much faster than your run-of-the-mill SUV. The problem with dynamic mode is it holds the gears too long and the revs are just too high, and it just becomes uncomfortable when you're driving around town. So like at 45 miles per hour right now, I just feel like the transmission should have shifted a long time ago, and it's just not. So it doesn't feel very good on normal roads with normal driving. That's the problem. So I'm going to switch it back to comfort. The steering feeling is quite nice, just like the suspension. It has a good weight to it. It has good precision. And overall, I feel like it's not too artificial. It's hard to explain with steering because almost every modern car now is utilizing electronic steering. And some just feel really artificial, and some feel vague, and some feel good. And this one happens to be one of the good ones. It just feels right. Now, for 2021, the Volvo XC90 definitely got better because there's more standard features and more standard safety features. Features that were previously optional features. So that is why I think actually the Momentum trim, that's the one I'm driving, the base trim, benefits the most, because before all these were optional things you had to tack on or you had to move to a different trim level. But now most of these niceties are included absolutely free. So those of you guys that are looking for the base Momentum trim with the XC90, which is still very, very well equipped, I think this benefited the most for 2021. Next, let me talk about the trim levels and pricing and give you my final thoughts on this new XC90.
For trim levels, there are three: the base Momentum, which is what I'm driving today, then the R Design, and finally the Inscription. The base Momentum starts above $48,000, the R Design above $56,000, and finally the Inscription around $63,000. With the Momentum and Inscription, you can select either 6 or 7 seats, and you get to select which engine you want, the T5, T6, or T8. For 2021, T8 equipped XC90s are now called Recharge. The Momentum I drove today has a T6 engine with 7 seats, comes with optional packages such as the Climate Package, Advanced Package, Premium Sound, 21-inch wheels, laminated panoramic sunroof, and others, and the total price comes out to be around $64,000. To conclude, the Volvo XC90 continues to be a fantastic luxury midsize SUV, and it was made better for 2021. It looks phenomenal, it is spacious, has one of the best infotainment screens out there, and the drive is engaging and comfortable. Downsides to the XC90 include hard to fold up third row seats, hidden USB ports up front, and pricey optional features. Overall, I'm giving the brand new 2021 XC90 a score of 103. To see how it ranks among its peers, check out driversonlyrankings.com. Thanks for watching, hit the like and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, first looks, and news.